Hello everybody, it's me, GhostCritic, here with a Thursday comic book review show, but it's a little bit special. Yes, I've been doing this for quite a while now, and I'm always thinking, what can I do to make it different, not make it so predictable, or just challenge myself in areas of doing YouTube videos. And this is basically what I've done, what you're about to see. I've had a little play, I've had fun doing this. I like to make these videos enjoyable for you to watch as much as for me to make them. So without further ado, I hope you enjoy the new comic book review show format. Go on.
What are you doing? Who are you?
Who is this?
Okay, Morning Glories, issue 22, and you just have to applaud Nick Spencer for his writing skills. Yes, he was terrible on Ultimate X-Men. He really just couldn't get a handle on the whole superhero mutant genre. But here, it's like it's a completely different person writing it. We have, again, the things we've seen over and over again with Morning Glories, with the kind of the flashbacks, what's come before, flipping to where we are now. And again, I say it every month, the kind of lost TV show vibe you get from it. But it's here that you get some really nice twists and some really different ways of telling a story. The book begins with our kind of the rebel kind of students from Morning Glories Academy, the ones that are kind of kidnapped, in essence, Hunter, and taking them who knows where. You see their first kind of induction day at the school. And if you remember, if you're a long time reader of Morning Glories, in the first story arc, you had our regular characters, our characters from the present. Their induction had a part where the school room that they were in started filling up with water and they had to escape, and that was a kind of a test. Well, in this issue we see our rebel students test. We had water, well, they had fire. It's so clever. I was just rubbing my hands with glee while I was reading this. In the kind of the present time, if it is, they're still making their way to this kind of unspecified location, taking Hunter with them. Hunter has to be there for whatever reason, and I think it's Hiseo. He's having his doubts about what's going to happen when they get there, even though he's been kind of in league with these rebel students for quite some time. And we get to these ruins, and there is kind of like a portal that gets you inside, and there's a cult, there's shootings, there's attempted sacrifice, and there's a point in it, and it's set up so nicely that they're walking towards this ruin, and Ariana just says, once we get inside where we're going, we will not be able to understand each other. And you're like going, what's all that about? And then you get inside and they're all speaking different languages. If anyone is fluent in all these tongues, these foreign languages, please translate for me, because there obviously is a story there, but you have only the pictures to go by, and you know, shit's going down. Just amazing. Go out and buy this, please. Okay, so Ultimate Comics X-Men. Brian Wood has breathed life into this title. Yes, we were just saying about Nick Spencer, who was on the title before. I made a mess of it. If I hadn't known that Brian Wood was going to be taken over, this would have been dropped. It would have, and I would have missed out on this fantastic storyline by Brian. It does feel a little bit like you've missed something though at the start of this, because there seems to have been this huge kind of time gap from the last issue where they just found all these camps and they were just kind of sussing them out, you know, doing the, what's the word? Reconnaissance. That's the word. They were doing the reconnaissance for this, but now they're actually in the camp. They are freeing the mutants. They're liberating them, and Kitty is sending out this kind of countrywide message to all the mutants that here in the is it the southwest or wherever they are. It's a free zone. It's where mutants can come, be themselves. But, you know, you're going to join this army. She is seriously rallying the troops. So there are some excellent touches in here. I mean, you have the whole Kitty training her fellow mutants, sparring with Nick Fury. And she's sending out teams to, you know, kind of stop the human militia going out and killing mutants. You've got a team going out to infiltrate some camps and release the mutants. And the team names, the blue team and the gold team, I thought it was a really nice touch, because way back when X-Men #1 came out, you had your blue and your gold teams. That's when they kind of divided, because the X-Men had become such a huge kind of population and team that they had to split them, and you had your blue team and your gold team. So here we have our ultimized version, which I thought was a really nice touch. But it's right at the very end where you get your kind of three almost, they sound as if they're not connected, but there has to be a reason for this. So you have Nick Fury and Kitty Pryde, and they're waiting. They know the Nimrods are on their way. You have a panel with Karen Grant. When was the last time we saw Karen Grant? Yes, she's the kind of new Jean Grey. And then we have the panel with Rogue and Quinton. Yes, he has been named. It is our ultimate version of Quinton Quire. We don't know what he's up to, but I reckon it's pretty sus. And then, of course, the big splash page. The Nimrods have been listening all the time. The little black box has been relaying everything back to them. They know exactly where the mutants are, and they're coming for them. Fun, exciting, really well told by Brian Wood. Conclusion, next issue. What's going to happen? Okay, so with issue 14 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, we are finally introduced to Billy the Vampire Slayer. This is the kind of much hyped gay male slayer that is being introduced to our Buffy universe. And I'll admit, I was slightly concerned where this was going and how it was going to be introduced to us. I didn't want this to be a kind of, because we've always had the history of Buffy and the kind of the lore, the history behind it, where the Slayer is always female. So how can we have a male vampire slayer? And I think it's worked in very well to this story. I was scared that they were going to use the kind of, well, he's not really a man, is he? And I would have been deeply, deeply offended if they'd gone that route. But of course, this is Buffy. Things like this are acceptable. If you've been a fan of the TV series, you will see that the kind of real life teenage kind of dramas, yes, it's enlarged and put to extremes for television, but this is stuff that the kids who are watching the TV show are going through. And I'm very, very sure that a lot of the viewing public that watched that were actually gay. So having a gay character within the Buffy universe is just, it makes sense. I'm all for gay characters being in comic books as long as they are kind of introduced for a reason, not just because they're gay, not just because it's the latest fad. Buffy universe fits this kind of storyline to a T. And, you know, Jane Espenson's written for Buffy and Angel so many times. She's got such a handle on how to introduce characters like this, how to make a great story, and it's effortless for her in this. Billy isn't really a slayer. You get the impression, you know, that you don't just become it. There isn't just a moment, or there is. You think there is a moment, and suddenly, bang, you are a slayer. So the kind of magical element of it isn't really introduced. This is really just Billy surviving his day-to-day life. As a gay teen, he is subjected to, you know, the bullies. He comes from a broken home. There's the whole romantic element with the kind of the boy next door kind of figure, and the unrequited love maybe between the two of them. It was just a really, really good issue. Plenty of the Buffy humour that we're used to, and I'm just excited for the title again. It's been dire for so long, and now it's picked up again, and who'd have thought there isn't one regular Buffy character in any of it. So if you've never picked up a Buffy comic before, it's a good idea to pick it up from here. It's a new story arc. You don't need to know anything about the universe or what's come before this, and yeah, I recommend.
God damn it!
Now, one of my favourite comics to read for pure fun, entertainment, quirky. It's just got it all, and it is, of course, Wolverine the XMen. We've got issue 18, and that pesky banner's back. But I don't mind so much this time. But still, I have something to say. If you're of a sensitive nature, maybe you want to cover your ears just for a couple of seconds. Aaron, you bastard. Oh my God. When I read this, I was like tearing my hair out. I was like, you can't do this. No, please. No, enough is enough. Okay. Wolverine the XMen. Yes, we have that final battle that happened in that silly AVX event, which I didn't read. And you kind of... I'm guessing that if you have already read the final part, you would think this was quite superfluous. Why have you got that in here? We already know what's happened. Why are you recounting the story again? But there is a very, very clever reason. So the school, this is what has been the great thing about this. Yes, you have the big AVX moments, but it's never forgotten its roots, and its roots are obviously in this Jean Grey's new school of higher learning. And very much on the kids and how they're coping with all this. And something very strange is going on at the school at the moment. We've got Husk acting very out of character along with Iddy. The kids are all just basically playing up. Tensions are high, obviously, because there's the big battle that's going on, you know, just down the street. And all this time we've got the cuckoos, what are they called? Emma's, if you can see that, Emma Frost cuckoos, who are like telepaths. They're all watching the battle through Cerebro, and obviously you can see the little dots, and the brighter they are, the more powerful they are, and so they can see all the madness that is going on. So remember that. Kitty decides, this could be our last day on Earth ever. Let's have a school dance. Yeah, okay. And so they're all setting that up, and we find out that Iddy has been kind of escaping out of the school to a church. She's always been a bit weird, and she's kind of been apparently finding solace there and finding answers, and that's why she's changed so much. And she has, from this kind of emotionless kind of child who just hates who she is, but it's very emotiveless. She almost to the point where she has no feelings, but now she's laughing, she's dressing up sexily, she's dancing with Quinton Choir, which of course breaks our poor Bruce's heart. So he goes off to find out what is going on in this church and what they've done to poor Iddy to make her change so dramatically. And this is where Pastor Harm comes in. And of course Pastor Harm's just a front for, yes, our Hellfire Club kids, they're up to no good yet again. And it's the heartbreaking end that, you know, just gave me that, damn you Aaron, you can't do this. You see on Cerebro the kind of, there's been the big reveal, you know, Xavier's dead. The big kind of bright light on Cerebro is pinged out and everyone knows he's dead, so everyone's in shock. Yet they miss a tiny little blip going out. No, 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 no! So we finally get our issue 1 of The Phantom Stranger. Last month we had our origin issue 0, where we kind of got a glimpse of who the Phantom Stranger is, what is his role in our new DC universe. But we didn't get a proper storyline, but here we are, issue 1, and we're supposedly in the present. And the Phantom Stranger has met up with a strange young lady. There has been the death of a young boy in a car accident, and we see this young woman weeping and wailing at his coffin side. No one seems to know who she is. And when she comes out of the kind of funeral home, she's attacked, or apparently attacked, and she fights back with some dark black power that she's gained from the sorrow that is within the funeral home, the funeral passers-by congregation. This is Rachel. I think it's Raven. Well, we know it's Raven. She's on the run from her father Trigon. She's escaped his clutches and she's trying to keep control of her powers. And the Phantom Stranger, quite cryptically, announces that he'll protect her. He'll take her to those who can train her. And given the Phantom Stranger's kind of appearance, well, not really appearance, but he has this trustworthy nature about him, so Rachel trusts him. Bad mistake. The character and the kind of morality and everything that's going on with the Phantom Stranger and why he's choosing, or these people are being chosen for him to apparently help. It's very, very interesting. I much preferred this issue this month I should say. The artwork by Brett Anderson, much better. It didn't have that kind of old time feel to it. It did seem very much more up to date. It looked very grim and grimy, and yeah, much better. This is what I wanted to see. And it is the kind of ethical stance on what the Phantom Stranger is doing. He thinks he's doing it all for the good. At this point, it might seem like it's an incredibly bad and traitorous thing to do, but apparently, you know, further down the line, you don't see it now, but good things will come of this. It may look like I've stabbed you in the back, but believe me, there's a reason for it. At least that's what he thinks. And Trigon kind of challenges him on this kind of mission statement that the Phantom Stranger has in his head, or has been told. Very interesting. I like this a lot. I had so much fun with this title from the very beginning to this final issue, Space Punisher. It's just been an hilarious ride from start to finish, and the kind of craziness just really doesn't let up here. We have the Punisher, and he is facing off against our Watchers. And again, while there are kind of like twisted versions of what we are used to in the normal, you know, kind of 616 universe, there is the kind of still that rooted element that they've taken, but made it extreme. So we have Uatu, who was kind of, you know, these Watchers are there to watch, to observe and not get involved. But we know from, you know, way back in the 60s, and the Watcher kind of intervened with the whole Galacticus, and many, many more times along the way. They did get involved, and they shouldn't, and they got their hands slapped. But these 6 guys, they didn't care. They kind of just went for it. They got involved, they changed things, they controlled, and they basically rule the whole universe. They kind of keep things in order, but in a quite malicious and fascist way, I would guess. Well, of course, Frank's not going to put up with that. But he's not much use. And so we get the Hulk back. Oh, it was just so much fun. So much over the top, kind of violence. It was just hilarious. I loved it. I hope this comes out in trade. If you didn't pick it up, go and get it. It's just fun. It's just fun. Now, it's not so much the storyline with the whole zombies going on in Batman and Robin issue 13 that really interests me so much. Though it is fun, it is exciting. It's a kind of, are they zombies? How have they turned into these kind of mindless hordes? It's the in-between moments that are kind of really kind of nice touches put in there to kind of round things up. Now, you know, they're saying that, you know, all these Bat titles, they're not really connected in with our big Death of the Family event that's going on, that started this week. But you get elements of it here. We have Robin, Damian, doing his homework on the Joker, kind of revising kind of thing, making sure he knows what he's going to be up against, though he hasn't a clue. He hasn't. And it's again, we get our kind of father and son relationship kind of fleshed out a bit more, made more real with this kind of, I guess you could say, father and son bonding road trip. It's just this road trip happens to be in a Bat spaceship, and going to look at a eclipse of the sun. As you do with your father. So it was a really, really nice touch, and you can see the strengthening bond between father and son here, which is really nice. Again, a part of the storyline that I didn't really pick up on, or well, not pick up on, but forgot all about, was that Damien's mother, Talia, has actually got a bounty on her son's head. She wants him dead, obviously, for the betrayal of staying with her father and actually, well, being a father and son. She clearly didn't want this to happen. So you have Robin fighting for his, well, I say for his life. We have this huge kind of alien monster kind of creature crashing down on him in the sewers. We get a big battle scene, which he quickly sorts out, and then we go back to our kind of zombie storyline, and obviously Robin, being the headstrong boy he is, not doing as he's told and getting back to the Batcave, he goes out to find out what the hell's going on, and well, a zombie horde approaches. It was a really fun book. Gleason's art, I liked him when he did this, when it was kind of Dick and Damien as Batman and Robin. He had a bit of a jaunt on the artwork here, and here it's just it's bright and colourful in the right places, it's grim and dark in the right places. So yeah, had a lot of fun. Pick it up. Okay, I think some people have been reading a bit too much Blade Runner, a bit too much iRobot, and a smidgen of AI to boot. It's NonHuman by Brunswick and Portaccio? Sci-fi. Great, I love sci-fi comics, especially this kind of dystopian future in the Blade Runner-esque style. You definitely get that feel here. It is basically kind of like a detective cop show set in the future. It definitely has the tropes of a program such as that. So you have your main character, Detective Oliver Ames, and his partner's just been murdered. He's out there trying to find out who the serial killer is. He's got his informants. He's divorced from his wife. His son's getting in trouble where he shouldn't be. And then you have these crazy kind of, what they call the non-humans, these plastic, robotic, animatronic people. It's very AI because they all live out in the outskirts of these big sprawling metropolises, and then you get introduced to this drug, brain freeze, that is given to children between the ages of 13 and 18 to combat this kind of worldwide disease that has ravaged the population. It's pretty crazy stuff, but really intriguing. While yes, it is a bit kind of predictable, maybe not be the right word, but we've certainly had this kind of storyline time again, but I really enjoyed it. Yes, we've got the saga, which we're still waiting for the next issue, but wait. You've got that kind of sci-fi fantasy element there, which is more fantastical, but here with Non-Human, it's very human. You have our human beings. There's no crazy weird TV head guys here, though you never know, they might turn up, I don't know. I was very surprised at this issue 1. I did just pick it up off the shelf and thought, should I get something extra this week? Then I looked at the artwork and thought, oh, I like the artwork. And then I saw this kind of robotic teddy bear. I thought, yeah, gotta have it. So if you want something a little bit different, a little bit sci-fi this week, I suggest picking up Non-Human. It's definitely worth a try. Only $2.99, because I know you people are crazy for $2.99. Okay, so that's it. That's it, you say? Haven't you forgotten something? You must have picked something else up, surely. Oh, I know what you're waiting for. Yes, my pick of the week. Well, you're going to have to wait, because I think it very much deserves its own video. You all know what it is. Don't even have to say what it is. So tomorrow expect another video, because you can't get enough. Yes, I'll do a special pick of the week video tomorrow. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this. Please put down in the comments what you thought of it. It's my first time, so be kind. But yeah, we'll see if this is appreciated. If you like it, and I'll do it again. I certainly had a lot of fun playing around, finding all the sound effects and doing all the editing. First time, guys. First time. So it only leaves me to run the end credits.